So business is hard and tough and super harsh. So my feedback to those people that lost their business is because they went to supermarkets is what you put on the shelf wasn't good enough. Their brand, their proposition, their product. You didn't fail because you sold to supermarkets. You failed because what you put on that shelf wasn't good enough.
Okay.
And if you're going to grow a business, what you put on shelf needs to be good enough to get people taking it off shelf. Putting it on shelf is the easy bit. Your job is getting people to take it off shelf. And if I was them, I'd rather know that it was going to be a failure sooner than later, so I could do something else and kind of try and up my level of thinking.
Yes.
So I don't think they failed because they put things in supermarkets. I think they failed because they did something that wasn't good enough. And like, you need to find a way to get people excited about your product, if it's your packaging, if it's your comms, if it's your positioning, if it's your social, if it's your community engagement. I know it's say with like any business, like you need to engage your community. Like everything starts with community engagement. The best businesses have got engaged communities. Normal businesses don't. So from day one at BrewDog, from day one with the businesses I'm involved in, like we focus on community engagement. Tallow and Ash is an amazing example. So I've been
Tallow
there.
and Ash.
It's a liquid laundry detergent company. I've been there from day one with the founders. The job that they do in their social channels in terms of engagement is amazing. The business is just 13 months old, but they're running at 10 million run rate revenue based on social engagement. And like businesses that go into supermarkets, you need to have an engaged community. You then need to work with that community to help you pull that stock off shelf. And if you've got a big enough engaged community to get a little bit of momentum in the supermarkets initially, you do a giveaway with your community, send us selfies with this peanut butter, with this jam, with this whatever, with this skincare product in store, buy it there. We're going to incentivize you. We're going to reward you. We're going to build this thing together because we are developing it for you. We're going to listen to your voice. We're going to take you on that journey with us, and we're going to drive footfall to our supermarket partners, which gets you a little bit of kind of buzz going. So to sell it to supermarkets, if you don't have an engaged community, forget it. But if you don't have an engaged community, you don't have a business in my view either. And that's a kind of founding cornerstone of any business. So I think you've got to deal with supermarkets, but you've got to put something on the shelf that's good enough to sell. Secondly, you've got to play the supermarket game slightly different to how your competitors do it, because supermarkets are used to dealing with massive companies. They pay for their distribution and they pay for people to take it off the shelf with promotional and discounts. And that just comes out in the wash in a big company. That can't come out in the wash in a small company. So you've got to add value to the partner. Like supermarkets are not a charity. They're not going to do things like out there in goodwill. You've got to find a way to add value to what they do, if that's through product, if that's through innovation, if that's through margin profile, if that's through the people you put in store. So supermarkets back in the early days of BrewDog loved us because with all the customer data, somebody who bought BrewDog in the supermarket was buying other high margin things and had a higher total basket spend. So we're adding value to their business. And we told them, look, we can't pay a listing fee, but we can do a social media competition. We can do some joint PR. We can drive our community to your store. We can give you this amazing exclusive beer, which is going to further drive our community to our store. We can add value to your category. These are the demographics of our shoppers. This average income, this household income, this spend, this is an upgrading query. At the moment, we're putting these people into your store. So you've got to find a way to add value, but you've also got to be able to stick to your guns. So I walked away from so many supermarket deals in the early days. I would go into that meetings and I was like, this is what we do. This is the value we attach to it. This is how we make it. This is the product quality story. This is how much we need to sell it for you to be a viable business and to invest in things we love, which is our beer and our people. If that works for you, amazing. We will support you till the cows come home. We want to build this with you. If that doesn't work for you, all good. We'll come back at another time. We'll continue that discussion elsewhere. But at a cost less than this, it makes no sense for us as a business, and it's not something we're willing to do. So many people get so seduced by the, wow, I've got 400 distribution points in Tesco, it must be the next big thing. And the deals that they end up doing, or with Sainsbury's, like they compromise themselves so much in the deal that the economics, even if they got sales on it, wouldn't work and wouldn't help their business. So I think with supermarkets, you need to have an engaged community first and foremost. You need to have an amazing product. You need to find a way to add value to their business. But the most important thing is you need to walk away if the deal's not right for you or your business. Because if it's not right for you and your business, you've eroded all the value before you've got out the gates.
I wrote about this called the Blinded by the Listing Lights in one of my newsletters, and it's like, you know, as you know, I had this when we were at Manulife. All we thought about was getting on, you especially with LinkedIn now, you just want to do the star jump outside, say no's and be like, fuck me, we're in here, yeah? And it's like, don't get blinded, you're rabbit in headlights, like, don't get blinded by that. And I think, yeah, Adam from Innocent said this. He says more brands get sunk by saying yes to supermarkets on bad terms. That's the biggest thing. What would you say And I think the way I love what you said, James, there about we kind of played that game differently. What would you absolutely walk away from? Like, what are the terms that you're thinking, fuck this, we're not doing this? And then the second part of that is like, what do you think is what the absolute you need this to make grocery work? Because where I want to eventually get to is, I think you're one of the first brands who managed to make premium and do mass market, another tension. But first, get into those sort of deal specifics.
Yeah, I mean, just so many of the times, like, we had a price in our head that we had to sell the beer to that meant that we could continue to keep the product quality the same. And like, we live or die by what's in every glass, every bottle, every can. As soon as we lose that product quality, we are a lousy version of a big beer company and we're in a race to the bottom. So just making sure, like, this is what we can do a deal at, this is what makes sense for us. And it was like a commercial discussion, but like, so many times we walked away because that didn't work for the partner. Sometimes it did, and the stars aligned amazing, but that meant we were building kind of good and profitable distribution. And what I would say to companies that kind of go to a supermarket and they can't do a deal in the terms that they want, your proposition is not strong enough. Your brand, your perception of value, your consumer, your engagement, your traction isn't strong enough. And that's why you can't do the deal that works for you. So you need to work on those things and kind of try and strengthen your hand, but just being prepared to walk away. And the mindset was always, this is what we do. This is the value we attach to it. We would love to do a deal, but if we can't do a deal in these terms, we'll wish you all the best and we'll revisit it in 12 or 18 months' time.
Espressos is sponsored by supply chain software gurus Unleashed. It talks your e-com and accounting software. It's helped islands cut admin time in half, get granular clarity on your margins, know where your stock is, don't miss availability. Brands like Candy Kittens, Tiny Rebel and Trip all use Unleashed, and so should you.